Hello, beautiful people. So, fire and ice, and this Boswag, this bloody afterbirth of an SPAG South African in British service at battle rating 4.7. Now, I don't think it can get much bigger than this, especially at this low battle rating. It's bloody enormous. I mean, it's much larger than a Tiger II even, and that's a pretty large vehicle. Has 5 crew, they're pretty spaced out, so the survivability is actually pretty large on this thing, if not getting hit by, well, another SPAG, artillery, heavy machine gun, or AC, any kind of HE. You can actually survive an incredible amount of damage from APAC shells because of how they work or don't really work in War Thunder. And in this case, bigger is better since the crew is pretty separated. I mean, the gun crew and the rest of the crew in each of their tiny compartments, so to speak. Lots of dead space in between, and with the ammo stored in between them. Turning radius is beyond belief. It's pretty fast though, around 60 something kilometers an hour, and acceleration is also pretty good for such a large vehicle. The armament is great. Russian ZU-23 cannons, 23mm cannons. You only have a total of 600 shells, and that is actually not a lot since those cannons so these cannons actually fire very, very fast. So you can split the ammo up 50-50, but if not close to a spawn point or a cap point, which I think you should be using this vehicle, then you're going to run out very fast, especially if you really don't hit anything. The ammo is just gone. I thought initially I'm going to hate it. That's also why I kind of, to spite its size, put the rotary blink on top. But it turns out I think it's so hilarious because I like the oddities in the game and odd vehicles. I don't really go for the norm. I think that's boring. This vehicle is up my alley and I absolutely adore it. There's been some changes to the Jacob Demar armor pin calculation for 12.7, 14.5 and 50mm rounds with metal cores. They have more armor pin now. So for instance, the Russian 14.5mm found on the BTR 152, that can now pin 51mm at 10 meters. Same goes for the German 50mm guns. You can find some BF 109s and the gun pods and the Dornier 335. And also on the SPAG, the ZPK KFZ 251-/21, that can also pin 51mm at 10 meters now, so that's pretty nice. There's also been a change to the sound system or sound engine. I'm pretty sure you've noticed that, but if you hadn't, there's been some more thump added to the lower frequencies, so explosion and bombs landing artillery sound more, well, deeper now actually. There should also be some changes to some other frequencies where the sound should sound more crisp, but I hadn't really noticed that too much. Another fun addition is the little Italian AS-42 47. It's the same vehicle as the little fast battle rating 1.3 SPAG AS-42, but instead of the 20mm autocannon, this new vehicle has a new variant has a 47mm cannon instead, and it's very fast firing. It also has an additional crew member, so that's 3 now for that vehicle, and it has a lot of ammo, 312 rounds of 47mm ammo, and I think the reload speed is close to 3 seconds, so it's super fast and it's super fun to use. And with its armor pin, it's just good enough for 1.3 and everything it would meet in an up tier. So it's a great little vehicle, you should definitely go research it. What else? Russian IS-1 and IS-2 1942 model have had their models updated, so they're much better looking now. Same goes for the German Jagdpanther and Befehls Jagdpanther, the premium one. They all look really great now with the updated model. The Jagdpanthers also are called G1 now, or G1, and but they've had their engine powers reduced from 700 to 600 horsepower. If you didn't know, I really like bombers. And the Japanese bombers are actually pretty good. Some of them are pretty fast, but they all suffer from light bomb blows. That is the biggest drawback in my opinion. And two of my favorite Japanese bombers, the two Key 67 sitting at battle rating 4.3 and 4.7, had help some help now. They can now both drop an 800 kilogram bomb, which has close to or around 500 kilograms of TNT. Only one of them each, but it's definitely better now. A bunch of British aircraft, World War II bombers and some interceptors and modern jets have had fire extinguishers added to the system. Same goes for some Italian bombers and Italian biplanes even, and some World War II bombers. They can also extinguish bonfire now. We had a model added now, the SDK FZ251-9, and that's a half track with a short 75mm howitzer. Now at 1.3, the howitzer and all its ammunition is very effective. You have an heat shield that can pin 100mm, which is really overkill at 1.3. But you also have an APSE shield that can pin around 51mm. I think it's a little more. And that is actually plenty. And I would actually suggest, if you were going to use this vehicle, to use the APSE shell, because it's much more consistent instead of the, well, halfway unreliable heat shell. The heat shells can kind of be fun to use, and they have a lot of high explosive filler in them. But I mean, it's really, yeah, pretty unreliable. So just stick to the APSC and you should be good to go. It's very fast reloading also. I think it's about 3.5 seconds with a expert crew. Germany now has a new premium Focke-Wulf 190 A5 U14. It's a kind of an odd variant. It can carry a torpedo. A single torpedo and that's it. It can't carry any bombs, just a torpedo, no other secondary weapons. System for battle rating 4.3, so if you're really that keen on getting it, go for it. I would only get it if it's going to be removed in a couple of years, and then I'll get it just because I, would want all of them. But other than that, I have zero use for it. The Russian Tech-3 has also had a lower rank premium added. It's the US 820-30 Havoc light bomber. System battle rating 3.7, and is rank 3. Now the American version, dash 25, can only carry, I think it's 4 250-pound bombs and some rockets, M8 rockets. While this Soviet one can carry a lot of different Soviet-made bombs, including 2 1,000-kilogram bombs, and that is pretty insane. So same type of aircraft, just premium, but with a much better bomb load. But that was about it. Until next time, remember to deploy your die brakes. Have a good one.